Smile is an immortal trait of the mortal man, an empowerer to his soul and a sign of his confidence. So much so that whenever a challenge crosses his path, he commands his heart and says, "There is no stopping. Let's go." Hi all, this is Anshu Jain and welcome yet again to another interesting episode of the Routine Smile. Let's go. Well, when a smile could mean so much to a life, then imagine how exemplary will be the value of a laughter. Many can bring us to tears, but not many who could lead us to a hearty laughter. And with time so rash, rubbing our back, if anyone could bestow a medicine of laughter, then no, he is a tough one to break and a right one to follow. And today we must all be excited and lucky to have one such personality in conversation with us. A nutcracker stand-up comedian, a flawless actor, a picky director, a generous producer, a witty production coordinator, a lucid writer, a human philanthropist, a wise entrepreneur, a hard-to-beat stand-up champion, a religious football hooligan, and an all-round fun guy. Let's meet the Qatari Guy, Mr. Hamad Al Amari. Welcome, Mr. Amari, or rather I should say the Qatari Guy, to our show, to the Routine Smile, and thank you so much. We are indeed pleased and we are really very glad that you have agreed to share your experience with all of us.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for calling me and requesting to meet with me and talk to me. Thanks for finding me interesting, or for whatever the reason it is that you decided to talk to me. Thank you. And then, yeah, I'm happy to see where this goes.
It has already started. Well, wonderful.
All right.
Yes. Okay. So to begin with, the first question that I would want to ask you is that on one side, it inspires me, and on the other side, it surprises me. How do you manage to fit into so many areas, so many roles altogether? And that too with always a smile on your face.
Wow. I don't actually know. I feel like there's a lot of things I'm interested in, and mostly it's people and value that people together can add. So whether I have an idea or a project or I'm approached to collaborate, if it fits within my general kind of scheme of things, then I would join in and try and add value wherever I can. And yeah, and I also like to be busy. I don't like to not do anything. I feel like we're alive. We only live in one, God knows what my longevity is, when my expiry date is, but it's coming. And that's, we all have to, I just want to live a fulfilled life. And if I feel like I can add value where I can, I just try and add my, just be part of it. And the busier I am, the happier I am. And I don't like sitting around doing nothing. But yeah, sometimes I have to. So it's just kind of also balancing that and trying to work with people who are like-minded, and and just keeping anything that's negative or redefining what stress factors are to be more productive, I think. I mean, there is so many stress factors around the world, and we all have to deal with them, whether it's your family, your society, yourself, but I just feel like if we all have value and we believe that we add some value and we all work together to enhance everyone's lives, then we should. And I feel like that's what drives me and why I try and keep myself busy.
Yeah, I guess that's the most important thing. I mean, we should keep ourselves busy. That will help keep our mind sane. That is what I believe.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it. I always say, if I don't keep myself busy, I'll get into trouble. Yeah. So I'd rather not get into trouble than just get busy.
Hamad, I would want to know that what prompted you to get into this? I mean, how did it all start?
By this, what this, are you talking about comedy? For comedy, it just kind of, my friend made it sound like it was, he put my name on a list and made it sound like if I didn't show up, it would be the end of the world. And I was super nervous and had 2 weeks to prepare, and I was just losing my mind and with the stress of it. And then when I went on stage, I instantly realized that that's my calling. That's it. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. This is what I want to do. There's no other feeling that trumps being on stage and doing your material and engaging with an audience and just having fun with it, you know? And a lot of my material over time has developed into like my perspective and then my interests, which is people. So a lot of my content or material is basically about my life and how I see things and how I find different, just different perspective, and try and apply perspective and write stories around, you know, certain things that would happen in life and try and make that funny and try and make it relatable for people so that, you know, it just works. And yeah, that was 9 years ago, I think. 2011 was when I started. And starting in stand-up comedy, it opened up so many other doors. So I ended up being on YouTube, and then YouTube as a platform and it's on its own is fantastic. So I started doing shows there, and then I worked in advertising, and then just writing stuff and creating marketing calendars and proposals and ideas. And so it just kept going and going and going. And I never really stopped to think about it. I just kept going. And then after a while, I started setting up my own businesses and agency and trying to create more ads. And I set up Tape Studio with my partner, Jasmine Ali, so that just to say that there are people in Qatar who have talent, who have ideas that they want to share, or they have a voice or an opinion or a talent. And we just wanted to open up a platform and say, you know what, this is the studio, there's equipment, there's producers, people who are in this field, who've done it before, and if you're new and you want to explore it, we just opened Tape Studio as a creative hub, basically, so we can collaborate and create content with people in Doha or around the region or around the world. Who knows where we're going to go, but at the end of the day, I'm just passionate about stories and people's stories, and I really am interested in how people are. So I feel like I just kept that's a constant thing. And yeah, just whatever happens in life, I end up meeting different people, and that always adds value. And if I can add value to them in turn, it just keeps me going. And the engagement and people, you know, new ideas and new content or whatever it is, whether it's a startup or a show or a music album, who knows, you know, I run into all these people who just want to do amazing things. And if I find myself in that space, then yeah, sure, why not? I'll try and give them my time and support, or just being involved on its own is a privilege, and I don't take it lightly. So, and it also just gives me a purpose. So, you know, I don't have to think about why I wake up. I have something to do all the time. You know, so I suppose it started there, and it's just gonna keep going until someone tells me to stop. And maybe then I won't stop even. So
you should never, definitely you should never. The toughest thing in this world is to make somebody smile or bring, you know, a smile on their faces or to make them laugh. And this is something that you are doing. But Hamad, having said that, I would want to know two things. I mean, based on what you just said, I'm pretty sure managing and handling so many things together is never easy. How do you manage the stress of doing all of this all together? At the same time, how did your family react when you told that you want to get into this? It is never easy, I guess.
I don't know. I just do it, you know, like the reaction was I mean, with my family, there's still some elements that they don't understand. They're like, okay, you're working here, and then you have this company, but then you're doing a show, but then you're writing, but then you're doing advertising, but then you're on a startup, then you're on a panel for a talent show, then you're hosting a kids show, but then you're a spokesperson for a charity, then you're a brand ambassador for this thing, and I'm just like, yeah, that's what I do. So, you know, if you want to find out, it's all out there. You know, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my support from my wife, my brothers, my sisters, my parents. I mean, at the start it was like fun, but then when they realized this is what I'm trying to do and this is my life, they're like, okay, well, this guy's taking it seriously. And, you know, I have goals for myself. I have a goal. I've set goals. I feel like the hardest thing in life to do is to set a goal, you know. People generally, like, when we come up with ideas or come up with a business idea or a content or a show or whatever it is that we work on, or bidding for a new client or talking to governments about new projects or new national projects that we want to roll out or anything, when you just have these ideas, it's about the people that you're working with, and the more you just kind of do it and the more you expose yourself to that, you just keep learning. And I feel like that's my addiction. I just want to know everything, and I want to learn as much as I can before I stop, my brain stops working. I'm still young. It's hard. I've learned so much about, you know, I tried to be Superman. I tried to manage too much, and it was too much. There are moments where I failed, and it was because I'm a human being, and there's only so many hours in the day, and you have other obligations. You have family, you have kids, you have social circles, and then, you know, so there's a lot to manage. It's not easy. It's definitely not something that is easy. But the more you do it, the more you learn. And I feel like I just want to learn. So I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid to go into something and not achieving those goals. But the way I see it is, once the goal is very, very clear as to what we want to achieve, whether it's a material goal, whether it's a social goal, whatever the goal is, even if it's like, I want to buy a really expensive watch, that's a very clear goal. And once you have that in mind, everything else kind of starts pouring in, and all your energy starts going towards achieving that goal. And you just kind of need to be strong and remind yourself. And, you know, there's a lot of pressure that's instilled on you, and you are the person who made that choice. You know, I've never had someone come up to me and force me to do something. I've always had the choice, and I've said, yeah, I want to do this, or no, I don't want to do this. And sometimes you make the right choice in the moment, and then you realize after a while that it wasn't the right decision. But as long as you feel like you're learning continuously throughout, and you just need to be a bit self-aware of where you're going and what you're doing. And I feel like the goals are the hardest things to create, but once they are very clear and crystal clear, it's easy to just work towards it.
I guess, I have said this in most of my interviews. What is most important in life is to having that attitude of learning. Because I believe personally, the day we stop learning is the day we stop living. And definitely staying focused is of utmost importance, because this is what gives us the meaning to our life and the direction we are going in. Well, Hamad, I'm pretty sure this journey that you have embarked in, that is the journey of becoming the Qatari guy, would have never been easy. Not at all. How did you handle the failures or the blocks that came on your way? And now, when you are there everywhere. One person you talk about who is extremely popular in Doha, whether you talk about comedy or you talk about hostings, presenting, multiple dimensions. I cannot name just one or two. There's so many things that you're doing, right? How do you see yourself currently? How do you manage that success? That's the most important thing.
Well, I don't think I'm successful, for one. I don't think I am successful yet. I will be. I know I will be. And I know that there's two things. One, it's hard work. You actually have to apply yourself and be there and be present and work. And it's difficult. There are many different things that make it difficult, whether it's your mental health or the people that you surround yourself with, or all of these variables that will affect. But as I said, I have a goal and I want to accomplish that goal, and I haven't achieved it yet. And that's where I feel it'll be, it's success. You know, and I don't think that I am there yet. I have had small successes here and there. When you talk about comedy or hosting or just being that voice, I think that just kind of breaks the norm, or if there's a slow flowing river, I'm like a wave in the middle of it. It's weird, but you know, sometimes you fit, but sometimes you don't. But yeah, it's just, again, I don't really feel like I've achieved my full potential, but I just keep working at it and I keep trying to explore it. And there's a lot of growth that you do as an individual. I mean, when I started, I was 25, 20, something like that, 24, 25. I'm 32 next week. So just that time frame, you know, it's almost a decade, like, and I feel like if I was to look back at it, yes, there are little things that I can pinpoint and say, oh, that was good, or that was nice, or that was fun, or that was, but overall as a success, I still feel I haven't achieved the most success. But I think that's what is the hunger that's in me that drives me, you know, yes, I've had the pleasure of meeting artists and comedians and entrepreneurs and leaders and established individuals around the world, and it's fantastic that I have that opportunity. But I just go into it with an idea of learning, and can I learn something from that person, even if it's like, you know, just in passing, you know. There's all these opportunities I'm presented with, and I just kind of don't, sometimes I go in blind and I just don't think about what people will say or what it would mean. But at the end of the day, if I meet a CEO in an event and he's a successful CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company, I'm going to go talk to him, you know, or her, or whoever that individual is. I'm going to go and speak and say, hey, you know, thanks for inviting me, or I've watched you on TV and I've seen your business, I've been following you. These people have value, you know, and it's not always that I get to sit in the same room with them. So if they're there, I'm going to go and hunt down that opportunity, you know. Some people tell me that I'm annoying and that there is a certain way to talk to this person, or you shouldn't approach this person in this way. And I just feel like we're all human, we're all working, we're all living. And it's, again, if I go to someone or approach someone in a manner that is mutually respected, so if I go to them with love and respect and admiration for what they're doing, or treat them even as, you know, as another human being who's on his journey and is achieving and succeeding, then I don't think it's going to be an issue if I ask them a question for 2 minutes or take 3 minutes of their time, because, you know, you never know if I'm going to talk to that person, I'm going to get something from it, or it's just I don't know what, I don't go in aiming to get something, you know, sometimes I want to be a fan and just go up to someone and go, I love you, man, you know? And it's weird sometimes that happens to me. And I have to also, you know, appreciate that, because the approaches, sometimes people come up to you who have something in mind or want something, and it's clear, and you're like, okay, maybe schedule a meeting, you know. But at the same time, you know, it works both ways. Like, I have to be able to also accept people who want to talk to me. It's not like I have to be, you know, and I've struggled a lot with this idea. People think I'm unreachable or out of reach, but I don't feel like I am. I think I always love a conversation, and I'm always open to experiencing new things or new perspectives or adding value to my life in any way. So yeah, when people approach me, it's fun, but I don't know. It's just the way of life, I guess. I mean, you never know who or what is going to give you the most value. So be aware of the moment, be aware of yourself, be aware of your, you know, your own authenticity. Who am I? What am I here for? And everything else around you just kind of dissipates and doesn't matter anymore, you know.
It's very true.
Hungry. You just gotta keep going.
Yeah. You need to grab that right opportunity, and that's the reason probably I kept on bothering you. I wanted you to be on my show because I was pretty sure that
I do admire your work and your you know your. So I mean, I'm glad you're doing a show, which is good. I mean, keep it up, and thanks for, you know. And you know, you were hunting me down, so. It happened, you know, we're doing it now, so it's great.
Finally, exactly. And I was pretty sure that I'm going to learn a lot from you. And hence, I was very desperate that I really wanted you on my show. Hamad, I know that you are blessed with an incredible memory. I have personally experienced that. Yes, I met you for the first time. And then when I met you for the second time, almost after 1 year, you exactly remembered when we met for the first time, the scenario, the event, everything. Well, and this has happened to me with you not just once, but 3 times. And everyone, even I forgot those minute details, but you were very well aware of everything. And I was taken aback. And everyone must have experienced that. I would want to know, which was your craziest fan moment?
So many. I never shy away from it. Like, I love it. If someone comes up to me, there's the positive stuff, and I feel like that positivity, when it comes, it's just, I'm forever grateful. There was one moment where I was in a flower shop, buying flowers, and for my wife, just so that everyone is all right, calm down. It was for my wife. And there was an old gentleman with 3 of his daughters, and they were kind of like whispering, and I was standing behind them. And they were like telling their dad, you know, this is Hamad or whatever. He's like, yeah, let's just finish. And then he went and paid and got his stuff, and it kind of ushered his daughters away. And then he turned back to me. He's like, I watch your stuff. You're funny. Keep it up. My daughters are listening to it. And I was just like, I love that moment, because from when I was standing there, I could obviously hear and see what's happening, and I'm trying to just try to be normal and just, you know, be visibly hidden. But I wasn't expecting him to turn around and to you know who I am or see my stuff. He's a much older gentleman, and yeah, it's just really weird. And the fact that he moved his daughters away, and then from a distance they're like, hello, and I was like, do you want to take a picture? Do you want to say hello? Like, they're so far away. And he was like, is that okay? I'm like, yeah, man, let's talk. I mean, their daughters are the one. He's like, no, I watch your stuff too. Let's all take a picture. So I had like 3, I mean, it was like almost 3 generations or 4 generations in one picture. I think the youngest girl was like 10. The other one was like 20. I was in, you know, late 20s, and the guy's in the 60s. So it was just like, he was just, you know, it was a very surreal moment that all of them knew what was going on. And I was like, okay, this is weird. But that was a fun moment. Yeah, it's just a lot. There's one that was not so pleasant, and I was sitting in a Sugwagif having lunch, and this guy kind of just walking past recognized me, and he turns around and he's like, "You're not funny, and you should stop doing comedy, and what you're doing doesn't work." All just kind of as he's walking around, just walking past, just throwing all of these things, and I'm just like, "Yeah, all right, thanks, man, thanks for your opinion." Mm-hmm. And as he kind of kept going, he turned back and he was like, okay, and he went. So kind of like that thing of like, I'm gonna hurt him, I'm gonna say something to him that's gonna get to him. And I was just like, yeah, this is part of it, man. I've heard this before, you know. And he just kind of didn't get what he wanted, but it still handled the situation well. And another one was a school asked me to come and do a talk, and they were primary school children, so they were like I think they were 8 years old. 3 classrooms, and it was an assembly type thing. And it just felt so weird. I walk into the room and they just run at me, and I'm like, wow. You know, I thought they'd be sitting down, and, you know, and it was literally like I was ambushed, and it was like, you know, and yeah, it was fun. It was, and I also think like their teachers had something to do with it. You know, some of them were just kind of in the crowd, but at the back. So I think their teachers were like, oh, and you know, but that was a really big shock moment for me. Like that, it's just never gonna get away from it. I learned to kind of be ready next time, you know, and just, you know, because it was painful. They were very short, and they were running into me and hitting me and throwing papers in my face saying they want stuff. So it was fun, but it was just unexpected, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many moments. Those are just a few that I can remember.
I'm sure. I mean, Hamad, there must have been many more such moments, and you know, it's like as you said that at times the experiences are pleasant, at times they're not, and when you step that ladder of success, there are many who would try to pull you down, but it's all the way you look at life. How do you look? How much are you focused towards your goals, and how well do you know to manage it? And if you're able to do it, I guess we'll still be able to reach our goal. Wonderful. And
yeah, I still haven't done it. I mean, there's a lot of failures, and you learn, and you just keep going. I mean, there's so many things that can stop you, but if you give in to them, then you will fail. But as long as you fail knowing that you've given it 120% every time, then that's okay. You know.
True. That's true.
Right.
Hamad, one incident of your life that made it to the headlines was you going to a burger joint. What was that all about?
Yeah.
I would really want to know what all happened that time. I mean, bikes are understandable, cars are understandable. You walk, that is understandable. But what is the story behind a camel? That to buying a burger.
It was just an idea. It was funny. It got a lot of. It went viral. The whole world like it. It was weird. It was, you know, it was on international news outlets, and it was the first time I saw my face on, you know, international news, and I'm glad it was for something that I did and not something that I, you know, not a crime that I committed or something. But yeah, it was just an idea that I had just to kind of present it, you know. It's something so ridiculous because as an Arab, when I grew up abroad, the idea of this part of the world is camels and tents, and you know, and there's a drive-through Burger King, and that's an international brand, so you already know that that's going to be recognized around the world. And the space in itself, like it was an idea that I had, and it was on my mind for so long. So I was lucky enough to get it executed. I had a production company that wanted to work with me, and they were like, hey, we really want to do something with you. I was like, if you can get me a camel, we'll do something amazing. So they called me on a Friday and they were like, we have a camel. I was like, great, see you tomorrow morning. So we took the camel and I did that little stint, the skit, and it was just to kind of, it was my way of showing people that it is a ridiculous idea to blanket a whole region of the world with camels and tents, and especially when it's one of the richest regions in the world. Like that just doesn't, you know, because you're having conversations with people who are, you know, it's two ways, right? You can't expect people to know everything about our society or our culture without us kind of also presenting, you know, if we're expecting guests to come and inviting our homes and land to everyone, it's on us to explain what our culture is, and
Yeah.
I like doing that in a slightly, you know, humorous manner. I just try and find the funniest elements and what would work, and the one definitely worked. I mean, it got a lot of good press and it got a lot of bad press, but it worked. It got people talking, and I think it was just. At the time, it was an idea I wanted to do. I really didn't have these kind of open, reasons for it. But I think deep down, I knew it was just to explain to people how ludicrous it is to say such blanket statements about people, you know. So it worked. It was funny, and there was a whole backstory to the camel, and. You know, it's fun, you know. It was fun, and I did it mostly because it was fun, and I'm glad people saw the funny side of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, got a lot of hits.
Headlines. I mean, still when we read about it, still when we check, the first thing that pops up is this incident about you, which is
Yeah.
there.
Forever.
Okay, Hamad, I would want to know one thing. Most of the comedians, to them, one subject which is mostly common or they talk about is marriage. And they say marriage is the epicenter of the change in life. What is your take on that?
Well, I've been married for, 7 years now? 8 years? Going into my 8th year? Is it? No, it's 7 and a half. I don't know. I mean, marriage is like, it's, you know, you're just married to someone and then that presents its own set of challenges and you kind of grow with each other, and then you have kids. Kids is the epicenter, I think. Kids are what ruin everything. No, they give you a they give you a new perspective, you know, and it's fascinating, like what happens to a human being in 1 year at that age, you know, from being cradled constantly and sleeping constantly, and a year later they're walking and breaking things. It's quite fascinating to see your children kind of grow in front of you. It's scary how quickly it happens. You know, my daughter is now 3 years old and 3 months, so I still remember her being born, like the day she was born, and that's the image that she's there. And now she's talking back to me and telling me to go to the naughty corner because I've been naughty, and you know, I'm dealing with it. You know?
Getting it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something we can make fun of, and everyone understands it.
Yeah, wonderful. Hamad, we know that the situation we are going through, it is a tough phase. It's a challenging time that the world is facing at the moment. And definitely, the stress builds with more feeling of negativity around us for various reasons. What measures did you take to fit into the current life situation to balance the mental stress and your professional life and personal life?
I went through a very rough period because my whole life is being outside, you know. It's always in meetings or in a room with a lot of people working on ideas, or, you know, I'm always surrounded by people. And a big part of my daily life was being outside and socializing, or at an event, or I'm at a meeting, or I'm at a, you know, an event. You know, it's just, there's a lot of people around me. And that was what balanced my work and home life. You know, I would go, it was kind of, you know, that's what we did. Go outside, earn, be there as a father, come back, you know, you're just kind of, it was there and back, there and back. And then all of a sudden you're at home, and tried immediately to adjust at the start. And then you kind of try and get into the flow. Then I went into like a severe depression, and yeah, just that mental health side just kind of presented me with the biggest challenge. And then I just realized that I'm in a home with people who love me, and I'm available. I'm not disconnected from the world. We have all of these tools, you know, Zoom, WhatsApp, Slack, Facebook, Twitter. It's all there. You know, the world doesn't stop. It had a lot of effect on businesses, and as a small business owner, we are, you know, it did. We're suffering at the moment, but it's a part of doing business, and how quickly you adapt to it is how you can just kind of go through the motions and come out of it successfully. But one thing that really helped me was meditating and just understanding that this is a new set of challenges. I'm still capable. The only thing that can stop me from being where I want to be, or is aiming is the highest place I want to get to, is me. You know, there's nothing else that's going to stop me from doing that. And there's always a way to achieve what you want. And there was a period where it was very tough and it was very depressed, and you don't want to get out of bed, and you don't want to talk to people, and your head starts playing games with you. And yeah, that's been a challenge my whole life, and it's just, it doesn't go away. But meditating and just kind of being, you know, helping yourself realize that you can be what you want to be, and just understanding that you are in control. And if you're not in control of something, it's okay. But once you face it and realize it and say, okay, I cannot change anything about the situation today. But the situation today as it is also presents so many other opportunities, you know. And I started looking at my house, and we all kind of looked at the house and we're like, yo, this place does not feel home, you know. So that made that we turned it into a home, and I'm, you know, doing a lot more work in the house. I'm building a deck, and I'm building storage units, and I'm just keeping myself busy, and it's working. And also I have my office where it's kind of locked down itself. So when I really have things to do, I would just change my place to the office, and just kind of still work that balance, that this is the place where I'm going to be working. And then when I get home, I'm going to be there as a father and a husband. And yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that I don't get in the way of myself as much as I have in the past.
True. I mean, to accept the situation it is. We know that it is a tough time, it is a tough phase, but we have to keep that faith and we have to keep going. And that is the only way at the moment, because the whole world is going through this. It is not just me, not just you, not just anyone else. And we have to accept it the way it is. Very right. Hamad, my conversation with you until now has been really, very fascinating. And I'm really intrigued to know more about you. And for that particular thing, I've come up with a special segment that is rapid fire round, wherein you will
Okay.
answer the questions as quick as possible, maybe in a line or two, or at times in a word.
The hardest thing I have to do is that I talk forever. I never stop talking, but we'll give it a go.
Okay, so here comes
We'll
the
see
challenge.
how we do. Yeah,
Right.
challenge.
Okay. All right. So here comes the first question. What would your autobiography be called?
Dumb.
I'll add intelligent to it. Okay.
You publish it, you can do whatever you want.
Okay. All right. How would you describe the job that you do to a child?
I don't know. I just tell my daughter I'm going to work.
Okay.
I don't know. Work stuff. Doing. I do work stuff. There you go.
Work stuff. All right. Okay, great. I'll try, applying that to my life. I would want to share one incident with you. So if anybody comes and asks my son that what mama does, his answer is, my mom speaks. So they tell we all do the same, but he does, no, my mom, she speaks a lot. And that gives such a bad impression. I'm like, really, that's what you think I do? All right. Okay, next question. Describe your life using film titles.
Insomnia.
Are you describing the current situation, or that's in general your life?
Great film. Not just the title, nothing to do with the actual film. Yeah, Insomnia. Just one film, or do you want more? Like one is enough, right? Insomnia, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good enough. I guess that covers it all. Cool. All right. One word that comes to your mind right now.
Food.
Am I speaking too much? You're feeling hungry finally. Okay. All right. Tell us, I'm trying to correlate insomnia, food, and then comes dumb. Okay, cool. It's going really interesting.
Not put them all together like that. Oh. Right, go ahead. Next question.
Next question. Tell us the last lie you said.
I'm working.
All right. Wonderful. I'm not trying to connect the dots together, okay? Okay. Now, a prank that looms in your mind.
It's not one word, I'll tell you that.
It can be, 2, 3, 4 sentences. I would want to know in depth about it.
Okay, so I want to, I've been thinking about this a lot. And I want to prank my wife, but she hates the pranks, so that's what stops them from happening. But one day, I would like to move all of her items into a separate room and lock that room and just film the reaction. Like, everything that she ever owns. Okay. From her, everything. So her wardrobe, her car keys, her books, her paintings, her music collection, the kids. Just kind of like move everything, because I know her routine, like with what she does. So there's a pattern, and I just want to move all of those things.
I would suggest that you could
move the food up to the bedroom, make the kitchen her wardrobe, turn her wardrobe room into like a kids' playroom, like just flip the house completely altogether, and then record what happens when she comes home.
I would rather suggest in that scenario, you should lock yourself as well in the room.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely I'm definitely hidden, just monitoring the cameras. I'm completely, whatever she throws won't hit me.
Wonderful. Okay. Your impression of me in one word. Please.
My impression of you?
Yes.
Annoying. But the good annoying. You know, like you know what you want and you go after it and it doesn't stop you.
Okay.
You know? But like you're not annoying in the sense that we can't sit in the same room together. You're annoying because you have goals and you want to accomplish them. And it's admirable how annoying you are.
Oh. I don't know if I should take it positively or negatively, but
You know, you're a go-getter. That's what it is. You go and get your things. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. And last, we would want to listen to some of your favorite lines of your act.
Some of my favorite lines of my act. This is one of my favorite jokes I wrote, and it's about Starbucks. And the line is, "Would you like milk with that?" It's just beautiful because it actually happened.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I asked her black coffee, and then she asked me if I'd like milk, and I lost my mind because if you put milk in black coffee, it's no longer black.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Is MuslimDating.com. I like that. I always like that. I think that joke is fantastic.
Definitely, I guess you put in a lot of element of your personal life into your work, and that makes it really amazing, I guess, Hamad. This is how it is.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your recognition.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. Hamad, it was such a great experience conversing with you, and I'm pretty sure at this particular moment, it is going to bring smiles on the faces of millions. This conversation, it was so much filled with fun, energy, and everything. Thank you so very much. One message that you would want to give to the whole of Doha and to the world as well.
Love. It's all about love. That's it. Everything else is, if you approach everything with love, it becomes easier. And love brings love. If you put love out, you'll get love and life is much better. If you put hate out, you bring hate and that's not good. So don't judge, have room and give love. I think that's what it is.
It's wonderful. Love is the key to everything. And thank you so much, Hamad. Thanks for giving us your valued time and experience.
Thank you so much. Take care, and
thank you.
Congratulations on doing this, and I wish you all the success, and thank you so much for having the time to talk to me as well and finding me of interest in a subject that you wanted to chat to, and wish you all the best of luck. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's completely our honor. Thank you. Thanks a ton.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hamad.